Hi guys, it's Crystal. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you guys some of the 3D flowers in Design Space. So I want to show you, there is 10 different ones here and I did them all in different colors so you guys can distinguish and see the difference. So I'm sure you guys have seen them. If you go to images and type in 3D flowers, you will see something like this. So then you'll have to decide, oh, what's that going to look like when it's finished? So that's what I'm going to do for you today so you don't have to worry about that. You can come refer to this video and then you can just pick out which one that you're looking for. So I did these in different colors, and what I'll do is I'm going to share this file down below. That way, if you want to go back to see which one, say you're looking for this one but can't really figure it out, you could go to that file and know that the green one is the one that you're looking for and you can just delete the rest. So with this size right here, you're going to be able to cut 2 of these out on an 8.5 by 11. So I have it doubled up. So I cut out 2 of each one. That way whenever we get done making these, you can see the difference between the finished flower and this. So I'll put them all side by side. So let's go ahead and get started. I got them all here. Everything was pretty easy to cut out. Some of these took longer than others, like these ones right here. I am missing one because it did tear. So these ones were a little bit, here in a little bit because they're kind of stuck together. Maybe I can do it now. This one right here that I saved for the after, you can see how this kind of got a little bit crazy. So my paper wanted to shift after a while because it's just so much intricate. So these were a little bit, they took longer to cut out, a little bit more for the Cricut, if you will. And then, let's see, this one right here was probably, this one took the longest because of all these teensy tiny ridges. This one took the longest. The rest of them, it just shot them out like that. Now, I did not try it on 2 times the speed just because these were so delicate. I didn't want them to rush around these little edges. So, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to do these one at a time. And I'm going to do them just like I did last time. So, when you start these, you're going to lay them down just like this. Have the tail coming towards you. You're going to take a quilling tool, whichever one you want to use. The one I'm using is by Quilt Creations here. They all have a little split in this little stick here. And what you're going to do is just stick this on the end here, just like that. You're going to get it in the end, just like that. And then you're just going to start rolling. So at first, you're just kind of keeping it close, making sure. And then you're just going to keep rolling all the way around. So once we're done with this, we'll be able to see how each one's going to look. Now, I haven't made most of these yet, so I'll be able to go in after the fact and we'll see how, maybe if you need to kind of curl the edges or anything like that. So I'm just going to show you. You're just going to have another video on this if you want to see a little bit more in depth of these, but after seeing me roll all these, you should pretty much be able to see what I'm doing, hopefully. So I'm just going around keeping this edge up against this one. But majority of this video, the point of it is so you can see the difference in each one of these flowers. So you just want to take it all the way around. And the last piece hanging should be the bottom, okay? So you're going to either use a hot glue or you could even use Elmer's glue if you wanted to, Tombow, anything like that. So once I do that, I kind of pop it down and just kind of mess with it a little bit to try to get it to kind of fold around how I want it to be. All right, say that I wanted to leave it like that because you may want to be able to spin them out just a little more because I'm thinking this one, I'm going to test it before we glue it down. I'm thinking with this one, we're going to want to take something like, for example, your weeding tool, your Cricut, the pointy one here. You could always take a pencil or something and probably going to go around and twirl each one of these edges. Here's what we're probably going to do. Probably come in here and kind of pop these out just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and twist this back up just a little bit, like so. It almost seems like it needs to unroll just a little bit on this one, actually. So I'm just taking that center and just kind of popping it out a little bit. All right, so what I'm going to do, just like we did before, I'm going to go ahead and glue these sides down. So I'm going to pop a little glue on the edges here and just push it in just like that. And then once you get that down, you're going to lift up the bottom here, pop some glue in here, and then just shut the lid. All right. Now once we get all these flowers done, we'll come back and figure out what we want to do if we want to push those out. So hopefully you guys can see that. I may get a piece of white paper here so you guys can see them just a little bit better. Okay, so once, like I said, once we get them all done, we'll come back and see how we want to kind of roll the edges. So I'm going to just keep going here. So we're going to do the same thing. It's going to go here on the end. And you just kind of push that down a little bit and then just start spinning it. And as you can see, like I said, you're just going to keep those edge to edge. And just trying to keep it tight. This one right here looks like it's going to be a rose. Like I said, it's kind of hard. When you're looking at these in Design Space, it's kind of confusing to see what the final product would look like. What kind of flower is that? Is it a sunflower? Is it going to make a rose? Is it going to make like a lily or something? You know, I mean, it's just really hard to tell what kind of flower. All right, so just like that. So same thing, I'm just going to I always just kind of pop on just a little bit. So yeah, this one's going to be a super cute little rose. So you're just going to kind of get it. So if you wanted it to spin back out a little bit, you could twist it back out. But if you're happy with that, so I'm going to kind of spin mine out just a little bit. Once you're happy with it, just hold it into place. Pop a little glue on that last petal. I'm always calling them leaves. On that last petal. And once that's down, you're going to just open the bottom. Pop your glue right inside. And push down. That's the final thing that's going to really just keep it all held together. All right, and that is what that one's going to look like. So that one is a rose. So we're going to set that aside. All right, same thing. We're just going to pop that on the end and just kind of get it rolling. Keeping it tight. So this looks like it's another rose. It's just probably their petals are going to look a little different. So we'll figure that out here in just a second. So once I kind of get to where I feel like I can't spin it anymore, I just start taking the flower around. All right, now we're just going to pop that off. And once again, like I said, I'm just kind of tapping it down and then kind of figure out exactly where I want that to be. All right, so say that I was happy with that. All right, say I was happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and pop some glue on this last petal here. Push it up against the side. Open the back. Pop a little glue in. All right, so now you can see the difference in these two roses right here on their petals. To me, they almost seem the same, so, you know, I'll let you be the person to decide, you know, whether you think you see the difference or not. I mean, they almost pretty much look the same to me. So there we go. All right, so once you're happy with that, same thing, you're going to glue that last petal down. Once you get that down, you're going to pop it inside. Now on these ones right here with these long pieces, you really want to not roll it as tight as you would like a rose. So that's just a little tip. And so far you can see you can kind of just push these out like this. So it looks like that's how these ones are kind of supposed to be, like that. So the first one I did, I probably shouldn't roll this tight. All right, so we have 5 more to go. Once again, we're just rolling. And I'm trying not to do this one as tight either. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to explain because, I mean, you're not really rolling it super duper tight, or you're not rolling it so loose, if that makes sense. Just so we can kind of see. This almost seems like it's going to be another rose. Let's see here. And I am not like a florist, so I don't know what these flowers are going to be. I'm assuming like these would be like carnations, I guess. Carnation. So that's what this one looks like. So it's a little different on its edges here compared to this one, as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and pop some glue on the last petal here. Flip it over. All right, just like that. Now this one may be one that we're going to go ahead and take our tool here and roll the edges. Something more like this. I'm just doing a little bit so you guys can kind of see. So this is probably one where you're going to roll those edges out. All right. So this one here looks like it's going to be another rose. It's just going to look a little bit different. And this one seems like it's definitely longer than the rest. I know it's probably not, but just feels like it's going forever compared to the other ones. Trying to keep it all together up here. All right, just keep going around. This one reminds me of like pencil shavings, is what it reminds me of. All right, so just like that, kind of squeeze it a little bit, pop it off. All right, and sometimes when they're a little tighter in there, you'll notice it's a little bit harder to pull them off. Don't get too crazy because you don't want to tear up your tip because it is really delicate. The bottom on this one. All right, I just added a little bit of glue. I'm going to go ahead and push down on that. Just like that. So there is that one. One thing, you're just going to get it on the end there and just roll it. Once again, I'm going to try not to roll it so tight. This one seems like one that wouldn't need to be super tight. So once again, this one will probably be like the coordination where you're just going to kind of push those pieces out. All right, like that. And then same thing, so we're going to take that last little petal here. I'm going to add just a little bit of glue, push down, and open the bottom, and push down. So much reminds me, I want to say like a lily or something. Like I said, I'm not a florist, so I don't know what a lot of these flowers are going to be. So I think you would just kind of like, once again, kind of push those out like that. So that's what that one's looking like. So maybe like a little, I know, maybe like a little daisy or something, like those little flowers that you find out in your yard in the summertime, the little yellow ones. That's what that reminds me of. What we're going to do here is the one that looks like it has little hearts on it. I think it's cool when you look at them and it's like they all have like this different thing going on. So the same thing with this one. I don't think we're going to roll it as tight, so I'm going to kind of get it going here. And this is another one of those ones, kind of like that, the really tiny scalped one where it feels like it's going for days. So like I said, it's probably not longer than the rest, but it just really feels like it. Now this one is probably going to be another one of those petals where you would want to take something like a pencil or, like I said, your little sharp Cricut tool and twist out the ends. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue all the way around. And it's all wanting to kind of fall out of place, but we're going to try to make it around here. Okay, just like that. All right, so now I'm going to carefully pop it off here and try to get this to go back down in here. All right, so once you get it like that, so as you can see on this one, I had to unroll it and just re-roll it. So don't ever feel like you can't undo that and get it back in. It's not that hard. Once you kind of already have it basically going like you do, it's not bad to get it back in, and you can just lightly, instead of getting it so tight. So this is definitely one that doesn't go as tight as some of the others. Okay, so now this is what this one's looking like so far, like that. So definitely seems like another rose, but it looks like this one's probably going to have where you're going to come and bring and do all these different petals out like this. All right, so this one looks like that. All right, same thing. We're just going to pop a little glue here. All right, so just like that, that's what that one looks like. So I've got you guys zoomed in here, so let me go ahead and go over these again. So this is the 10 different flowers that you can create with the 3D flowers that are in Design Space. Now there is a ton more different type of 3D flowers where they're petals and you just put them together, but this is what I consider the swirl 3D flowers because they come out in a swirl pattern. There may be more on here, but this is all the ones that I found. So whenever I kind of quickly went through there, because there is, when you type in 3D flowers, it just continues to keep going and going and going. So this is what I had found 10, but like I said, there may be some further on down the line. But this is what you have to choose from. So like I said, I want to go over it really quick. So like the one that had the little, where it looked like hearts, you're just going to push those out or take your little tool and kind of roll and stuff. But these, you've seen how I just kind of pushed them as well. And just kind of push down, and that's what that's looking like. Really cute. And then this one right here, I'm not too sure what this thing is supposed to be. I don't really think you're supposed to. I think it's just supposed to be really tight like this. So I don't know what this one is supposed to be, honestly. I really don't. And like I said, I think these are more like a coordination. So I believe this one as well. So what you want to do is push them out once you get it all out. Just like this. And like I said, I think I rolled this one too tight. So let me put that on the white paper. So that's what those look like side by side. And like I said, they're different. So like this one here is a little bit shorter on its pieces, and these are longer. So that's what those look like. In my opinion, I think this one looks a lot better. All right, so when it comes to like the carnations, as for roses, we have these different ones here. Let's see, this one here. And I believe this one's supposed to be kind of like that too. I'm not too sure what kind of flower that one is either. But here is our 3 roses. Now, once again, like I said, you'd want to probably roll these out. On this one, it looks like it would probably roll. And then kind of have like a twirled up center like that. So that is that one. So you may be seeing these on people's projects and wondering which ones they have. So the same thing with these little guys on just the regular roses like this. You may take your little tool and kind of roll your edges a little bit and make it look just a little bit different. So you'll see as I roll these, I'm going to roll a couple here for you. So that way you can kind of see the difference once they're kind of rolled. And you can get several of them at a time. You can see that I'm kind of just pushing down and get several going. And that's what it looks like once you start rolling those out. It looks really, really good. So the same thing with the yellow one. You could take several of these and just start pushing out like that. You can even just kind of push with your finger there, and you can see how much better that looks once you do that. So once again, there is those three right there. Super cute. All right, so there is those. And then as for this one, I'm thinking it's going to be another where you're going to push out like this. So I'm thinking this one is possibly kind of like the one, let me see, where was it? I think it's like those little flowers out in the yard. Kind of like this. So really cute. I mean, obviously they're different, but you get what I'm talking about, as in flowers. Super cute. And now the same thing with this one, you may want to push it out more. Get it out just a little bit more. So you have those, and then the very last one is this one here. So you'd want to come in and probably roll these as well. And I'm just thinking that this is another rose is what I think this is, just different, more points instead of rounded. So, but I still, so you can see what that looks like, I still really prefer the yellow and the red compared to this. And the yellow and the red almost seem similar, but they are two different types of shapes. So there is those. So like I said, and I'm not too sure what this little guy right here is supposed to be. But anyway, so that's what we have so far. And now I'm going to try to get them set up to where they are side by side with what they look like once you cut them out, so you can really see. So now you can see with their original. So when you cut them out of the Cricut, this is what they're going to look like. So like this, and then this is what you're going to get like this. So I'll bring them up close so you guys can see each one of those, just like that. Like I said, this is one of the harder ones that, you know, cuts out, and you got to be real careful with it. It definitely wants to try to slide on the paper because it cuts so much. So make sure your mat is definitely good to go. It doesn't have like where it's not so sticky. So then there is this one. All right. Then we have this one. Then we have this one here. Like I said, I have no clue what that is. We have this one here. I really love the roses, super cute. And here's another one. Like I said, I think that's like a carnation. Here is this one. I really like those. And there's this one here. So it has like more of the sharper points. And this one here. So now, like I said, with the red and the yellow, you can see the difference with how much bigger these are than those. So they are different, like, but I still think at the end of the day, they almost pretty much look just alike. But like I said, I hope somebody finds this helpful. I hope this helps you guys if you guys are making some of the 3D shadow boxes or any of your flower projects. That way you can go into Design Space and know exactly what this flower is going to do for you. Also, like I said, I'm going to share this file right down below. Just click it and then you'll be able to know. So you knew that you were interested in the yellow flower, you could just look for the yellow pattern, delete everything else. Or if you're looking for the pink, there's two different shades of pink. So this one here is a darker pink, a lighter pink. This one here is more of a maroon, and this is a red. So that way you can distinguish. This would be a darker orange you would be looking for. This would be a lighter orange. So just look for these down if you're going to use that link down below so you can kind of tell what you may be looking for. So like I said, I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.